as we were starting to talk about when I hit record, that both of my vehicles need a bath. And one of the things that both are actually, even though they're two different models, two different companies, two different brands, they have a very similar color. So it's a kind of it's a matte light gray.
Lisa loves that color.
I do too. I really do, which is why I chose it. And my particular, so the one that I normally drive, which, by the way, folks, my wife is out this weekend in staying with my mother-in-law. She just had her hip replaced. So she took my car because it gets better gas mileage, and I have the truck again, which I was telling John.
Can I just interject? What I always wonder when people say that someone got their hip replaced, I always want to say, with what?
With another
hip, or
with a metal hip,
or maybe something with a hand. I got my hip replaced with a hand, and it'd be weird, but
that would be weird. But actually,
we should always make.
We'll get into that because it kind of makes sense.
Oh no,
no,
oh no!
I'm pretty confident. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that everyone will know when someone gets their hip replaced what that actually means. You never know.
A little more information, it might be necessary.
You might need to look it up, folks.
Okay, sorry.
It could be. Anyway, so Mona's getting had her hip replaced, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
But anyway, Jen took that car. I have my car, but both need a bath very badly. They're both that gray color. I chose my car because it was the first year that color was out. And but the truck, that color's been out for a while. It's that like I said, that light bluish gray. And it's a great color. It hides a lot of dirt unless you're looking at it, which, we've talked about before how I look at the hood. Yeah. The hood to me matters. Like I'll get into a car. I could love everything about the car and then get in, look over the steering wheel onto the hood and say, nope, not driving this car.
Have we talked about that?
We have talked about that.
Because that's weird. Is that, did I fall asleep when you started
probably.
Talking about
Most
that?
people do. I mean, it's not uncommon. Well, we talked about it when it came to the Jeep because the Jeep had the fender flares on the Rubicon are higher.
Yep.
It has the shark fins on the top, the fake shark fins. Mm-hmm. And mine had a decal on the top, a black one. So it was white with a black matte decal with the 4xe on
So it's not necessarily it's not the shape of the hood. It is.
It's partially the shape.
Okay.
Absolutely. Right. I think the reason we were talking about it is one of the reasons I prefer the Rubicon over, let's say, a Sport is because when I'm looking at the hood, it's a completely different type of hood experience. And I actually prefer the Rubicon. Hood experience.
Awesome.
Anyway.
Yes. I'm going to use that against you at some point.
You should. Absolutely. Why not? Why not?
So, but you're right. And it's interesting because people think if it's a gray, especially a lighter gray, that, oh man, it's going to show all sorts of dirt. It hides it beautifully for the most part. Black is terrible for showing.
Black is horrible.
Showing dirt. Or it's awesome if you constantly wash your vehicle, I guess, or keep it.
And I used to wash my vehicle, the Jeep. When I had the Jeep, I washed it all the time. Mm-hmm. But I gave up because that was also when Jen had her physical studio, which was right across the street from a car wash that you could have a membership to. So we were on that side of town all the time. Yeah, we never go over there anymore. Everything we do is on this side of town now.
No membership.
There's no
car
reason
wash
for us. There's no car wash.
You don't have a membership car wash there?
No, we don't have any car wash on this side.
You should build one.
So there's a Wawa supposedly coming in on this side of town with a car wash. So that will be. I don't know if they have memberships. I doubt it, but at least it's there.
Awesome.
And the car wash itself, as much as I did get over there, it's cheaper for me to pay for a one day because on Tuesdays they do a special where it's half off. Mm-hmm. So if I go on Tuesday, I could go twice a month and it would still be cheaper than my membership.
So what is the name? What is the gas station they're building again?
A Wawa.
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure that we love our Wawa, but it doesn't have a car wash.
Oh, you have a Wawa down there?
Yeah, it's one that's a mile away from the house and almost brand new.
Nice. I don't actually know if ours is going in. They said Bellevue's would be the first Wawa. It would be the first Wawa in Tennessee.
Awesome.
And then I saw an article that said the 10 Wawas that are opening up in Middle Tennessee, and not one of them said Bellevue anymore. So we've been told for like almost a year that the Wawa was going. they've cleared the ground. I know exactly where it's supposed to be.
Huh.
They've cleared the ground. They've prepped it, but no signage up. All the equipment's been pulled out. No
Interesting.
fences or anything. And it's just gone quiet. And now they're not even saying Bellevue. So I don't know what happened. We might
Yeah.
not get it.
Once they start, I can tell you from experience with ours, I mean, it was unbelievably fast how quickly they
Really?
got it done. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, they
so
were just on it all the time.
There's no official word that it's stopped, but I have a feeling we're not getting our Wawa.
Well, I hope, if you want one, I hope you get it. We're getting a Buc-ee's.
Nice.
Yes, and it's, let's see, I'm trying to think, probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes from our place. So it's awesomely close.
Yeah,
but
and they have the best car wash.
Oh, yeah, I don't even know. Do they
it's fantastic. It's really long.
Okay.
And it's really good. Every single time I've taken a car through there, it's probably the cleanest I've ever gotten one in a car wash.
Wow.
Because normally, a lot of times I'll have to rinse the car first when I'm at home, then go to the car wash because that'll do all the waxing and all that. Yeah.
Sure.
And the stuff that I can't get to necessarily.
Well, and one thing I noticed with the Jeep is if you go off-roading, and I say that in quotes down here because it's mostly sand and water.
Yeah.
But when you run it through the car wash, it does not get the wheel wells. And you got it. So I went to a power wash place. I've got one, but I'm not going to fire it up for that. Went to a power wash, car wash, and it cleaned up much better. But
yeah.
You need 2 car washes for the
two
Jeep.
car washes. That's very true. Well, you need anything like that. The truck is the same way. Now, my car, not that. My car can go into the car wash and it'll just clean right up. But the truck, because we don't wash it as often, and 2, it sits outside, and 3, it goes off road sometimes.
All of those things.
Yeah, so it needs
on purpose,
it needs a double
not accidentally
wash.
Off road.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, it depends on who's driving, I guess.
Yes, it probably does. And I notice you say that, brave boy, when Jen's not in the house.
Right. That's the only time I can be this brave or brazen.
You are brazen and blunt.
Brazen and brave. So
that would be a good name for a podcast. Brazen and blunt.
We should do another podcast.
We should, because we really have nothing but time on our hands.
I know, right? I don't remember where we were going with the car wash thing, but let's talk about Mona's hip. So this is something interesting. My boss,
she's removing and adding something else.
Exactly. So my boss had the same hip surgery.
Oh yeah.
And I was shocked when he was talking about it, and he had some difficulties at the end, but hopefully Mona won't have that. So now this is a hip replacement, folks. A hip replacement. Guess how long the surgery was?
4 hours.
1 hour.
Oh, really?
1 hour, and it's outpatient.
Wow. Outpatient.
Isn't that crazy?
That day, yeah. Well, and they want you, I've heard this, they want you walking that
before
afternoon
you leave.
If you do it in the morning. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I had Jen sent me a picture of Mona sitting in the lounge chair. She looked as happy as can be, and I said, the drugs must not have worn off yet.
Post-surgery.
Post-surgery.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'd show you,
I know
but she'd probably kill me.
It can be painful. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. I've heard it can be painful, but often it's, just the incision area, depending upon, how much, if it's 100% replacement or if it's 75%, which I understand there are those two.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was 100%, but I could be wrong. I always thought when they said a hip replacement, they literally cut your hip in half and took it out. That's not what it is.
Okay.
And you can find this, folks. They actually there's some great channels on Instagram that you can go and look, and they'll actually
YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube.
You can watch it on YouTube. YouTube, they might actually show you the real thing, but on Instagram, it's animations about how they do it.
Okay.
And it's really interesting. So the ones that I've seen is they cut part of the bone out. They might cut off the head of the what is that? Your femur, I guess. And they'll drill some holes in both sides. They'll stick a socket on one side, I think on the hip side, and they'll stick like a ball that looks like a metal ball that looks like a femur bone on the other one. Nail them in, make sure they fit, tie it together, boom, it's done. That's it. That's a hip replacement.
It's incredible. Well, it seems easy. And I mean, everybody knows that you're, 6 years away from being a doctor anyway. So
exactly. 6 or 7, maybe 7. I want to specialize.
But
8.
you, I was
8 to
gonna say,
10.
but
8
you're a
to
quick
10.
study.
I'm a quick study. Yeah, exactly. Because
So
I'm really
close.
good at science and math, folks.
You are Sci-Math.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. What else is there to talk about? I love these.
Well,
when
your
we,
travel. Let's talk
well,
about your travel.
yeah, everybody loves our travel talks.
They do. I get notes from people all the time.
About the travel.
All of
about
our
the
fans.
travel talk. Well, this week, and you and I had discussed this before, that it was it was a challenging flying week because
Mhm.
not once I get
Because
there,
you don't have your pilot's license, and they really hate it when you take the airplanes.
they do.
I got it. Yeah.
But I think they like to know when I'm prepared to do it just in case.
Right.
And speaking of which, I got off the plane yesterday,
Excuse
and it was kind of a hard landing in Fort Myers. And the
a little
pilot,
bit more practice, you'll be fine.
one of the pilots was standing outside the cockpit, and I said, "Who did the landing?" And he goes, and it's the right seat guy. It was a lieutenant, and he goes, "That was me." I said, "That was awesome." He laughed. I just kept going. "Yeah, that was me," he said. He wasn't necessarily proud, but he wasn't apologetic.
Yeah.
It landed. It was shiny
It
side
landed.
up and slowed
Any
down.
landing you walk away from is a good landing.
It is a good landing. That's right. But I always like to ask them who did it, because sometimes they'll do a funny back and forth. I've seen a captain say, "Well, obviously it was a Navy guy. That was him." It's just funny funny.
Yeah.
He only lands on aircraft carriers, apparently. It was just really funny how that happens. Anyway, so they
Did
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, did I ever share with you the Canadian Airlines commercial?
I don't think so. Lay it on me.
Okay, you tell the story. I'll look it up and I'll play it.
Oh,
because
as long as you share your screen, because we got to catch that. Well, it was a relatively easy week once I got where I needed to be. So it was a connection from Madison, Wisconsin, through Minneapolis to Seattle. And of course, we got out in the taxiway in Madison, and well, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go, but you know what's coming if you fly, and that is, well, they're going to have flow control into, sounds dirty but isn't, into Minneapolis, and so we got held up there 35 minutes. My turnaround time in Minneapolis was about under an hour, so it was cutting into that pretty heavily, and I did manage to make my connection after racing to the other gate. And fortunately, I had the foresight to bump up to first class paid with miles in order to, because I wasn't sure what the timing was going to be. And sure enough, they wanted me to check my carry-on bag. And I said, well, I'm in first. And she said, oh, well, then go ahead. They'll find a spot for it. Phew. Because I didn't have to go to baggage claim when I got to Seattle. And then caught an early enough flight to get to Atlanta the next day from Seattle. And that was a long, 5 hours is just a long time. And I've been on longer flight. I've gone to Australia and Hawaii and Europe and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, those are long flights, but I think you mentally prepare for it. But Seattle to Atlanta is a long 5-hour flight.
It is a very long flight.
Yeah.
When you're not flying out of the country. But that's kind of what makes the United States kind of cool is long flights and you're still anyway.
And that's the same with Australia too. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is only part of it because I'd have to look up the whole thing,
okay.
But I'm just going to play it first. So just to set the scene, the video, and it never changes the video. It's the pilot hanging upside down. So just put that in your mind.
Okay.
Air Canada. At least we've never let.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Captain speaking. On behalf of all the crew of Delta Flight 4819, welcome to Toronto. Local time is 2:15. We've landed, but as you can tell, we are currently upside down.
Air Canada. At least we've never landed upside down.
Wow.
Yeah.
It goes.
Yeah. It goes on for quite some time, and it gets funnier and funnier. So if you ever get a chance, folks, look up Air Canada upside down commercial. or
Okay.
commercial upside down, whatever, something like that. It'll come up, and if you see the pilot hanging
I can
upside
see
down, that's the
the
one.
camera turning while he's speaking or something like that.
Nope, it doesn't.
They should have done that.
Well, no, because he was upside down.
I know, but you could do like an inverted camera shot where it looks like he's right side up, and then
No,
suddenly it
but
turns and he's upside
his tie
down.
is hanging upside down, so
Yeah,
and his hair is.
he could have had a
fly-
tie clip. They all wear tie clips. Come on.
Yeah, but there's still part of the tie that would flip up.
No,
Anyway,
if you
folks,
tuck it
look
in
it
your
up.
shirt.
It's really comical.
I'm gonna find it, and I'm going to tell them how to do it better next time.
Yeah, okay, you do that. You need to move to Canada and teach them how to do advertising.
Hey, all you do there is you just
you like this commercial there, eh?
come to where I'm to, and I'll take you where you're at, or something like that. I don't know how they say it,
Yeah, something like that.
Canada, but yeah, it's like that.
For those of you who don't get the joke, a Delta airline flight flew into Toronto Airport, bounced and rolled, but everyone survived. And so they were making fun of it. The Air Canada was making fun of that situation because it happened in Toronto. And that's why it said Air Canada. At least we've never landed upside down. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just keep going. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I had not seen, but I will look it up now, and I'm sure we'll find it. And there's obviously video that goes along with it.
Just the pilot hanging upside down talking. It's
Okay,
it's
when
funny.
you look at it, listeners and viewers, if you happen to go see it, let us know, because I would like to know if you think it would have been better if they would have filmed it with him upside down.
Wow,
looking
he's
like he was right
obsessed with
side
it
up.
being filmed
Just telling
upside
you,
down.
I have a clarity when it comes to brilliant commercials.
Oh, you're so funny.
Yeah, I'm hilarious. I had something I was going to ask you before we got to that, but it doesn't matter.
I'm going to play
it later. Oh, you have
I'm
more?
going to play it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is speaking.
Ah.
I'm with all the crew. Delta Flight 4819. Welcome to Toronto. Local time is 2:15. We've landed, but as you can tell,
He is
we are
wearing a tie
currently
clip, by the way.
upside down. Whatever you do, please remain seated until the seatbelt sign is turned off. I can't stress this enough. Do not unbuckle your seatbelt. I'm happy to say that we're on time. We made up a little time in the air as we fell to the ground like a comet. Weather in Toronto is a chilly -9 degrees, but the temperature directly outside of the aircraft is 3,000 degrees Celsius. That's the heat of a blue flame.
Wow.
We're going to taxi on over to the defiring station because we seem to still be sliding. Going to get a hose on that, and then you can be on your way. For those of you with a connecting flight, you may want to check the boards inside the airport, as your connections may be impacted by the upside-down floating plane on the runway. The use of approved portable electronic devices is definitely not permitted. Please stop taking videos. And please remember to take all of your belongings. Your overhead baggage is down the baggage underneath the seat in front of you. If you're in an exit row, well, now's your big moment, hero. Good luck pulling the hatch open and tossing that thing outside while you're upside down. I hope the extra legroom was worth it. Please use caution when deploying the aircraft, as the plane is upside down. No smoking unless you're the plane, and please wait for your zone number before you flee screaming. Sorry for any inconvenience, but it's your own damn fault for flying in 2025.
Air Canada. At least we've never landed upside down.
Wow, that's really rude.
I think it's fantastic.
It's a rude commercial, especially when it goes on for a minute.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. That's my humor. That would be the type of commercial I would come up with if I were in advertising.
Yeah, that's why you're not in advertising.
That's right. Yeah, I'm a
it's
Gen
overkill.
Xer who has a very yeah. My sense of humor would not go over. It doesn't go over well all the time.
I think it does. I think you have a very cerebral sense of humor, though.
That's
not everyone.
I don't
gets
know how
it.
to take that. That's
in a
either
good way. Well, if you were less cerebral, you'd know how to take it. If you were more like medulla oblongata-ish.
Well, just to be fair, folks, when he's saying I'm cerebral, it doesn't mean I'm smart. It just means I use my noggin.
Cerebellum.
Cerebellum.
Yeah, I went to high school.
Isn't that a song? Oh, no, it's Seraphim.
Wow. Yes, you're cerebral.
I got John off track, folks. Now
I'm always off track. How tough is that? If I were a train, I'd be constantly off the track.
Derailed?
or derailed,
Mm-hmm.
for that matter.
Yep. Now we don't even know where to go. Now we're just making shit up, guys.
This is how we roll, though.
This is how we roll.
Welcome to PoddiMouths. This is how we roll.
And it is now officially, because we are caught up. We couldn't do an episode last week because John was traveling. So but we had one in the can, if you will. So this is actually a fresh one.
Yeah.
And we are now,
is it though?
We are recording. It is. We are recording on September 27th, which means we are officially in fall. We're officially in autumn, which is, it happens on the 22nd, which also happens to be our first listener's birthday. Happy birthday,
DJ.
And so welcome to fall. And we were talking about the weather. It is starting to cool off here in Tennessee, which is lovely, but still not cold enough for me. It does get up. But now I'm starting to sound like the pilot.
You're doing the. You have to do that.
And then finishing everything up high. Yep.
Well, that's because he was Canadian.
Yes. Yeah, it was Canadian.
Pretending to be a
Delta pilot. But he was pretending
pilot.
to be a Delta pilot.
I know.
Well, they have Canadian Delta pilots, I'm sure.
6 of them, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's proportional to the country, the size of the country.
Yes, it sure is.
So speaking of, I was speaking to a dealer, and forgive me, folks, if we talked about this already, because it was it was a couple weeks ago. But
Everything
I was speaking to a dealer.
we've talked about before, because
probably
we've been doing this for 7 years.
I think maybe I haven't talked about this, but I was talking to a dealer who happened to be in California. And youngish. I think he was, I don't know if he was the GM or if he was the DP, but he was a nice guy. And when I first got on, he had his camera on. So I saw a painting in the background of a Spitfire airplane. So, of course, me with airplanes, I love them. I love them even more than cars. I would probably, that's
fair to say.
Probably. It's fair to say. I'm sitting here with a picture of my stepdad next to his airplane. So
awesome.
I love airplanes, folks.
The Bonanza,
VTail Bonanza, Dr. Killer. So speaking of, I saw the Spitfire and we were talking and stuff like that. And he was talking about his affinity for airplanes. And I'm like, my stepfather, who, folks, if I haven't expressed this before, he was a little over 20 years older than my mom. So he was alive back, and actually a teenager back during World War II. And he wanted to join, he was originally Canadian and wanted to join the Royal Canadian Air Force so he could fly Spitfires during World War II. Cool. Missed the cutoff by a year. So he wasn't able to do that, which, was always, we all have little regrets that you don't really call regrets because, it was out of his control. It's not like he did something to screw it up. But that was something he always wanted to do. So we got to talking about that. Then we got to talk about him and how he ended up in the United.
Did he have his pilot's license back then? Already?
No, he was a teenager now. Okay. He didn't get that until he was an adult.
Okay.
So we were talking about that, though, ironically. And then we started talking about the Bonanza and how they called it a Dr. Killer and, how his dad owned a car dealership and he went to med school Murray, my stepdad, went to med school instead and flew a Dr. Killer and blah, 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 and then came down to the States. And so we were talking about all of that, and we were bantering back and forth, and he's like, "What part of Canada?" And I said, "Well, he's from Kindersley, Saskatchewan, practiced medicine in Rosetown, went to school in Manitoba, blah, 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 blah. It's quite close to, I don't know if you're familiar with Saskatoon." He's like, "I'm very familiar with Saskatoon because my grandfather practiced medicine in that general area."
Cut it
There's
out.
a really good chance that they probably knew each other because it was at the same time period. Yep.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're both dead, so we can't connect the dots. But it is because Canada is so small, especially Saskatchewan being so small, and there weren't that many doctors.
Saskatchewan, tiny.
Yeah, well, Saskatchewan isn't, but the population-wise, it's not huge. But he was talking about Prince Albert, which is a town just south of the provincial park that has the golf course that we would always go and play a golf tournament in. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, my grandfather and my dad used to go play a golf tournament there as well." I'm
Come
like,
on.
"What was it named?" And he said it was the Lobstick, which was not our tournament. Yeah. But our tournament was always the week before the Lobstick.
But you were familiar with the Lobstick?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. What a small world.
It was a very small world, especially because now I live in Nashville. He lives in San Diego, and we're talking about Saskatchewan.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And what are the chances, you're going to talk about your stepdad with a plane after
Yeah,
seeing his plane, and oh yeah, I know Saskatoon. What?
exactly.
Gosh,
Exactly.
that's really cool.
Yeah. It
That is
was it
fun
was fun. It was fun.
to make those connections. Have
Yes.
you given? We talked about this. Uh, I keep saying that accidentally, but uh, about you one day maybe getting a plane, wanting
I'm
to at least.
still
And
working on it. Yep.
and would you go for a Bonanza, or would you go for a Cessna, or what would you prefer?
Well, there are a lot of factors that play
Yep.
into that, John.
Well, the individual plane clearly, but I mean, what
Right.
your ideal?
My
Because
goal
those
is
are tough to
still,
fly. The Bonanza, from what I hear,
they're not
Bonanzas
tough.
are a little tough to fly. No,
No, they're not tough at all.
okay, except
Well, I'll explain
doctors
that.
say.
Well, so there's a reason they're called doctor killers because
I know. I
doctors are
wanted
the
you to
only
share
ones
that.
that could afford them,
Expensive,
expensive,
but
and
killers
they because most doctors don't have enough time to be proficient. So they make a lot of mistakes because you
interesting
do
point.
have to stay proficient with, especially with that, because it's a complex airplane. It's not,
Yes.
you have to get a special rating to fly one.
Oh,
It's the same rating that you get if you fly most airplanes that fly over, I think it's 180 miles an hour.
okay.
I don't remember the exact cutoff, but also if it has retractable landing gear, it'll be considered, even if it flies slow and has retractable landing gear, it's
Yep.
considered a complex airplane.
Well, I mean that is a different level because with retractable you often have twin engines too, right?
No,
Not always, but
no, Bonanza's retractable.
Bonanza's single. Is it
Yep, and
all of them are retractable?
all of them.
Oh, okay.
The only one that is not, it's not called a Bonanza, but it is a Beechcraft. Is the
Okay.
Oh crap, what's the name of it? I can picture it in my brain.
Mm.
It's just like everything, Beechcraft has bigger and bigger airplanes and smaller, and this is
Sure.
a very small trainer. I want to say it's wrong because the Bonanza, the T-tail Bonanza, used to be called a Debonair.
Oh,
So the older ones are still called
wow.
Debonairs, but I'm thinking the small one might be a Debonair or something like that. Yeah, they didn't have retractable landing gear, but
Okay.
every other Bonanza has. If it's a Bonanza, it has retractable landing gear.
Got it. And so but I mean, just that alone requires for an additional certification, doesn't
Correct.
it? Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yep. And then obviously not the Bonanza, but others with multiple engines. Also,
Yes.
that's another layer.
That's so you get two ratings there. You have to get a complex, and then you have to get a multi-engine.
Multi-engine, yeah. Yep. Okay, cool.
And then if you're going to fly via instruments, you have to get an instrument rating. So there are a bunch of different ratings that you can get and do get. A Cirrus airplane does not have retractable landing gear unless it's a jet.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have to have a complex rating for that because I think it flies fast enough and it also has a parachute.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
I guess those are a little bit more difficult to fly. I've been hearing lately. So all that said,
they must be really tough if they got to have a parachute.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Well, no, that's a safety thing, and it has saved a lot of lives, but it has also cost a lot of lives. So the country music person who just died a couple weeks ago was flying a Cirrus aircraft, but was too low to deploy the parachute.
Oh, jeez. And deployed it anyway?
No, you didn't deploy.
Got
it. You can't, because once it goes below a certain level, you can't pull it.
Yeah. Won't deploy. Yeah.
Right.
Huh.
So to answer your question, John.
Yes.
My goal is still to get my pilot's license. I want to say 50, but it's probably more realistically at least by 53.
Okay.
I did get set back a little bit, and I did it on purpose, but I put all the money that I had set aside to get my pilot's license. I gave that to Jen's business. So and it's not cheap to get your pilot's license, folks. And it's not cheap to buy and maintain an airplane. So it's, yeah. And I would say though, John, in the current, say this politically correct, in the current financial world, as much as I would like to buy a Bonanza or even buy a Cirrus, unless I start working for Textron or Cirrus,
yes,
I will probably end up with a Cessna, and most likely a Cessna 150, maybe upgrade to a 172 once I get proficient enough where I feel comfortable having my family with me.
Which are great planes.
They're great,
by the way.
They're fantastic airplanes.
Yeah.
They are idiot proof. Basically, they're not crash proof because people have
Oh,
have
sure.
crashed in them.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say that they're almost crash proof
Mhm.
because they're just so easy to fly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that would be the ideal one to start in because
Oh yeah, it's where that's what you would train in anyways.
right, exactly. That's 172s. It seems like most popular trainer.
That's a 4-seater, and then the 150 and 140 as well is a 2-seater.
2-seater. Yeah,
yeah.
That's cool. That's it's something that I had thought about for years, but never, took the step to do it or to or the classes. Although I still have the YouTube videos saved because I know there are all those classes are on YouTube.
Yeah, I still have a membership to Sporties.
Okay,
and Sporties is one of the biggest flight training things out there. So I have an app on my phone, and I can go through the videos as much as possible. I still somewhere in here. It's right around the corner. I still have my flight bag. I have my hours log. I've got everything. The only thing I don't have is the AIM FAR, AIM-FAR, which is the training manual. It comes out every year. It's like this thick.
Yeah.
The last one I had was 2022. So I need to get a 2020. Actually, I'll probably wait till the 2026 comes out. Get one of those.
How much changes though, really?
Not much at all.
Yeah.
But you still have to train with the most,
because it's kind of a frozen technology. Just because for anybody who's frozen in a sense, because anybody who is going to buy a plane, learn to fly, it's going to be in a non-retractable 2 or 4-seater probably.
Yep.
And they're old planes usually they're from the 70s or
older,
or older, right? And obviously beautifully maintained because that's what they do with these planes. But it's just kind of interesting how they would constantly change flight manuals or flight training, and it doesn't really change that much.
It has less to do with the airplanes. It has more to do with how busy our airspace is and weather changes and things like that.
I believe that. And so much is and I'm sure qualified pilots get it. And I used to love listening to a tower when I'd fly on United years ago. The pilots would sometimes put it right in the channel so you could go to it on the plane, and it was just so much fun. I didn't understand half of what they were saying though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I actually have on my phone. You probably be interested in this. Sometimes I do it for fun. See, it's called Aero Weather, AERO Weather.
I get more links from you. I love this.
Yeah, isn't that great?
AERO Weather.
Yeah. Okay. So when it looks kind of, I know it's blurry, but it looks kind of like that.
Okay.
But you notice those are all airports.
Yes.
So these are all the automated weather observation.
Cool.
Let's see if I can do, because it'll play. So here's the raw data. So if you can see that, you learn to read that and understand what the weather is. That one line right below the green.
METAR, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, METAR. John C. Toon. I've already forgotten. It's clear. 7 miles visibility, clear. So but you can then decode it. So it'll say winds calm, 7 miles clear, temperature 71.6 degrees Fahrenheit, with a 14-degree variation. Dew point is 62.6, because that's important for your altitude.
Sure.
And then relative humidity is also important for your altitude, 73%, with a pressure of 29.96, and that is rising. So awesome. It'll decode it for you.
So it's going to be nicer because you're going to get some sunshine.
So then you can actually, this is the fun part.
You mean that wasn't
Siri,
the fun part?
How's the flying weather? Oh, she's not speaking it. I wonder if it's because I'm plugged in. Hold on. Hold on. Hey, Siri, how's the flying weather? Oh, she's not saying it. Normally she says it. She just printed it out, though.
Oh. Okay, so it just gave you from your location?
Yep.
Or
from the nearest airport.
Yep, nearest airport. Yep. Hey, Google, how's the flight weather?
Port Charlotte, it's 86 degrees and mostly cloudy.
Oh.
Today, it'll be partly cloudy with a forecast.
She's not really even listening to me. Hey, Google, how is the flight weather?
Right now in Port Charlotte, it's 86
She's not
degrees
going to
and mostly
differentiate.
She's not going to do it.
That doesn't matter. She's giving me the weather report. Okay, so I guess I wasn't probably as clear. I'll figure out how to prompt her better. You mentioned it, and not
Yeah.
on purpose. You just said about the weather, it's clear. I used Clear for the first time going through
Oh, yeah? How'd it go?
Atlanta. Well, I needed to do it because I had done everything I could online, paid the money, of course, but I
Yeah.
did not. You have
Finish
to
the process.
finish the process at the airport or at an
Yeah.
airport. There are several that do it clearly, but clearly, thank you.
I see what you did there.
Geez, didn't mean to. But not all of them will finish the process. So Atlanta does because it's massive. So I two parts to this. I traveled. I think you probably know Mike, one of our guys that I traveled with this week, and he went. He had Clear, and I hadn't done the whole process yet. And we were, where were we? Must have been Seattle, and I went through instead the touchless, which is the camera. Have you seen?
Yep.
Have you done that?
I do. That's what I do. Yeah.
And so if you're thinking, a lot of people might be thinking, oh yeah, they do the facial recognition, but you have to opt in to this other level of it because they do that, and then you do your driver's license and all of that. However, the facial recognition, I don't need a driver's license, I don't need a boarding pass, nothing. Face, go. I beat him by 5 minutes, and he went through Clear pre-check.
Yeah.
And I just did the facial recognition. I was out of there and like waiting for him.
Yeah.
It was like that in Atlanta too. The line Clear pre-check, so you have both. It wrapped around 3 or 4 days. It took me 15 minutes to get to security.
I think I've told you before. I have pre-check and I have Clear.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm going to renew Clear. I'm still debating it. It's coming up here actually next month. I think is when I need to renew my Clear.
Too?
I do.
Okay.
And
cool.
I'm going to renew my TSA pre-check because it's what it is $100 and it lasts for 5 years.
Yes.
Why not? It's
a
stupid
deal.
not to.
Yep.
It is a great deal. And but at the Nashville airport, so when I'm flying out of Nashville,
BNA,
I'm coming. So when I park in the garage and I come in over the bridge that goes over the arrival area where people get to the airport. Mm-hmm. And then you have to go down to where security is. And you're looking out over the whole security area in Nashville when you're coming. So you can see the lines and you can see the regular.
Orlando's similar to Orlando.
No, not Orlando.
No, there's another one.
Denver. You can go up high on Denver and you can look at
I don't know how you knew what I was, but you're right. That's exactly what it is.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I knew that.
So you can see where to go in both, but you can see in Nashville, you're looking out over the whole thing. Yeah. You can see the pre-check line and then you can see the Clear line. Clear is almost always a long line. It doesn't take that much. It takes an extra 5 minutes maybe. It's not huge. We're not that big a place yet. We're getting there. But pre-check is almost always empty. So when I'm in Nashville, I almost never use Clear. I just go to pre-check because I can get through faster and it's the same line. It's the same not rate. That's no. What are they called? Where you put your bags in and they scan them.
Oh, yeah, it's the same. It's the same security pass.
Yeah, it's the same because it's pre-check. Yeah. So it's the same. You're going into the same line, so might as well just go through and do that.
So they don't see in Atlanta. They differentiate between Clear and Clear pre-check.
Yes, you can. Yeah, they do that in Nashville as well.
Oh well, so if you do. Oh, I see what you're saying.
So there's Clear on one end, and then there's Clear on the other. Clear is regular, and then they have Clear pre-check on the other side.
Got it. But it does not go any faster than just
pre-check.
Yeah, regular pre-check.
Unless it's really early in the morning, then I'll just, because to your point, the facial recognition is just so much easier, and I don't have to pull out my license. Because even with pre-check, you still have to pull out your license.
Right.
That said, go to Denver, because Denver's a really good example. I never go to the pre-check line in Denver because the pre-check line is almost as long and slow as the regular line. Yes. So I always use Clear when I get Denver airport.
And that's the challenge with any of these, that if it's, as you said, with pre-check, it's cheap, it's a bargain for, 5 years for $100, then more people are going to use it. More
Yes.
people will start doing it. What I noticed about touchless, the facial recognition, is that there aren't as many people who have done that yet.
Yeah.
And so while it's catching on, it's probably the best place to go.
Probably,
So
yeah.
who knows? And it varies, as you said, it varies from place to place. It's cool. The Denver example is a good one because and BNA, you can look and make your decision based on
Yeah.
what the line looks like.
Well, at BNA, there's only one security area, but at Denver, folks, you have the north side and the south side.
Right.
Now, the south side, though, while it does have clear, well, and I'm saying this during construction, the north side was the only place you could do pre-check.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That would
I don't know
suck
if that's
you got
the same
dropped off
now.
at the wrong place.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
happened
usually
to me
when you
more
get
than
dropped,
once.
well, usually when you get dropped off, you get dropped off in the middle between the two.
Yeah, I guess it depends what airline you're going to.
Fair enough.
Because it really doesn't matter. And because I'm convinced right now that every airport is under construction in the entire country.
Always.
Every airport.
Yeah. We had
wow.
a backup, 15,000 cars backed up on the freeway. People were getting out of their cars and leaving them on the side of the freeway to walk to the airport because there was an accident around the construction site at BNA.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine racing to get to a point? We had an Uber driver like that in Seattle who was slow as molasses.
Excuse me.
And we're just trying to get to the airport, and we're actually pulling in to the airport, to the departures area. He's in the right lane, which is going to be the slowest lane because people are pulling in and out of there. And people in the left lane are just blasting by. We're going, come on. I mean, I will get out and walk if you're going to continue. And so, it probably took us an extra 5 or 10 minutes late for a flight. What a shock.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think most airports that I have been to, maybe except for Atlanta.
Okay.
I don't remember for sure. I don't even, you get on a bus or you get on it. Chicago is a good example where I do get off where the airline gets off. Same with Houston. Houston is another one.
What do you mean you get off from the airline? Oh, you get out of the car.
So wherever, if it's American Airlines, you get out where it says American Airlines. But in Nashville, it's one big airport.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter where you get out. So if there's an open spot and it's Alaska Air, but I'm not flying Alaska Air, I'm flying Southwest.
Yep.
It's all the same terminal-esque. You're all going into the same security area. So it doesn't matter what end they're dropping me off on. I just get out and wherever it's easy. And
when they have multiple security, though, to that point, you kind of go, okay, well, which is going to be, and as you said, sometimes pre-check is on one security area and you can't go to the other. Madison, Wisconsin has pre-check and pre-check employees, I think, airline employees. So, the officers and so on will go up one escalator and they turn people over. I mean, and there's pretty good signage now, but they used to turn people back all the time because they had to go up a different escalator to get to the regular security lines. So, it's just a challenge to know some. And I can't say the name of the airport because I can't remember, but I've been to one where you went through security and I couldn't access my gate from that security location. So
Nashville was like that. Yeah.
And then go back around to, another 150 yards down the terminal complex. Yeah, to get to so I go through security again.
Yeah, Nashville was like that for about 5 years because they were doing the construction on the middle part. So it was, you had I don't remember if it was east or west or north and south, but either way, it was one or the other. So United Airlines, Delta Airlines, and American Airlines, you went to, I'm just going to call it the north. You go to the north terminal and then north side of the terminal because it's still one terminal.
Right.
So you go to the north side. If you're flying, if you're flying Southwest or some of the other airlines, you go to the south terminal.
Yeah.
And that was like that, like I said, for 5 years. And same thing, you couldn't walk to the other side. Now they have that center part where the security is. So they've taken out the security on the north and the south side and put it all in the middle. So you go in the middle and then you break out and go each way.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a pain in the butt, especially if you had a flight, like you did multiple airline connections.
Yes.
You have to go out and then go through
Oh,
security.
yes, that would stink.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I never do that.
Right.
And also we'll never do multiple cities. Or excuse me, multiple connections.
Yeah, one connection is fine. Anything beyond that, nope.
If I'm going out of the country, that's the only exception to that. Otherwise, it's one.
Fair point.
And I
Fair point.
will not.
Canada and Mexico don't count, though.
No, correct. Yeah, Europe, Australia,
Yep.
Hawaii. Yeah.
Yep.
We saw my friends on the plane and I saw a couple with a little 7-month-old baby who just were returning from Honolulu. And where were we? Was this Atlanta? And so they'd already been flying for 8 hours.
Oof.
And the baby is a cute baby. But she was zonked, and the parents looked wiped out and just overheard their story. And wow. And you know what? And so let me just give some good news if I can here, because we've all heard the stories lately, it seems like, of people just being idiots on planes. All the flights.
I would just say that in general, but okay,
well,
go on.
Yeah, maybe. Idiots, period. Yeah. Oh, on planes. All right. Well, that helps too.
Mhm.
I have been really impressed with how most people are behaving on the flights I've been on. I've had no instances. I mean, there are weirdos, but they're on every
Knock on
flight and on everything. But I'm sure they say the same thing about me.
Yeah.
But
The weirdo part.
Yeah, duh. But which is fine. But just nice people for the most part. The flight attendants are great. And yes, I don't fly the inexpensive airlines. Typically, it's usually the main lines. But I'll be on. We'll be on Southwest in a couple of weeks, and I just have not had anybody that's been, rude or weird or nasty or what. There just really hasn't been any of that. So I'm grateful that it's not as bad as the media leads us to believe.
Oh, well. You could say that again about anything.
Shocker. Man.
I would encourage you. Are you a Sean Ryan show
I know
fan?
Sean. I mean, I know him. I know who he is.
him?
And
Yeah.
I've listened to several of his things. Yeah.
So he had a podcast, and I would recommend anyone listen to because it is interesting, depending on your political leanings. But even that said,
right of center.
He is right of center. He has, or had, I should say, the Secretary of the Army, who is also, I believe, the head of the ATF, if I have that right.
Okay.
Let me get you his name.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting conversation. I'm not finished with it, but
okay.
What I was listening to is an interesting conversation, and what he was talking about, which this is why I would always recommend something like this, folks, is because I think our media, and I have been a part of it in the past, I think our media is just, it's done. It's done. It's just not, it's not honest. It doesn't really give you the full picture. And podcasts are wonderful because even if you disagree with the person who's on the podcast, you better understand that person, and you better understand where they're coming from and why they believe what they believe. And this is a good example. And
it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to agree and end up agreeing, but it's how, and that was, and I don't want to jump on the bandwagon, but I will say that was what I really appreciated about Charlie Kirk. He would talk and listen to anybody, and the people who hated him because they disagreed with them.
Yeah.
And so he didn't seem to espouse hatred because somebody had a different opinion, but he would just try to talk you into understanding his side. And I appreciated that it was a dialogue-based interaction, not a judgment-based interaction. And those that never listen to his crap, will always call him a hater.
They're always going to pick on something, right?
Well, and especially again, for him, it was he was such a hater because he hated the. No, that's not true at all. He was very respectful and he didn't agree with you. Well, sorry, and he would sometimes say the same thing.
Yeah, it's hard because and we talked about this, so I'm not going to dive back into it. If you want to hear our whole conversation, check out one of our last episodes right after that event happened.
Yep.
That said, this is Dan Driscoll, U.S. Secretary of the Army.
Ah, yeah.
And again, very good Yale Law School graduate, former Army officer. And I'm just kind of summarizing. This is very, very long. Married his high school sweetheart, North Carolina, from Boone, North Carolina. So anyway, very, very interesting conversation. Actually went to Yale with J.D. Vance, which is how he got his role. But the biggest takeaway I would take from that is talking about how the news and the media is so driven by, and he said, I completely understand. I am 100% on the same page as anyone who wants to be a capitalist. Our whole goal is to make money.
Sure.
But don't fool yourself. The media is the same. They get money for clicks. So they're going to look for the most salacious, and sometimes they're going to get it wrong.
Yep.
The worst part is they don't retract when they're wrong.
Well, and if they do, it's a tiny piece of something.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So, and that's so very true. I think we are very much influenced. Everyone is still influenced quite a bit by legacy media.
Yep.
And that's really unfortunate because we're not getting, and I'm not even arguing that they're wrong. I just think that we're not getting the full story. And if you're not getting the full story, or you're only getting one side of the story, you're not going to have a good understanding of the topic, and you're not going to be able to make a choice for yourself.
Yes.
And I think that is so very dangerous.
Well, it is. And especially when you're talking about First Amendment stuff and crying about, they're firing people because, they have the First Amendment right to. Well, when you work for a company, every company I've worked for, especially if we signed an NDA or anything like that, you will work at their pleasure.
Yes.
And so if you do something wrong or that makes the company look bad or whatever, or
it doesn't align with the beliefs of the company
beliefs
itself,
or the practices or
right,
whatever, the standards of that company, they can let you go for no reason whatsoever.
No reason whatsoever.
And so it has nothing to do with your First Amendment rights. In your private life, sure, you have that. You still can't, yell fire in a crowded theater or whatever that example has been. You cannot incite violence. You can't do, there are things you can't do under the First Amendment, but everything else, have at it in your private life, but your
Absolutely.
public but your work life, whatever your job is or who you represent, does not fall under those parameters.
Right. Exactly.
So.
Exactly. And what a great note to end on, John. You said it was a cheery note. It wasn't quite a cheery note.
Everything, didn't we?
We really did. Everything and absolutely nothing.
And nothing at all.
And folks, if you want to hear more of nothing, head up to PoddiMouths.com. Check out all of our past episodes, our merch store.
Would it be great if we had future episodes up there?
It would be.
That would freak people out.
That would freak people out.
Freak me out a little too.
I'm not going to lie, probably.
Especially my voice changed.
Well, maybe.
Hey, go on up to our website.
You don't need to worry about
my voice.
Don't confuse the AI because who's going to be putting the future episodes up? It's all going to be AI.
Of course, which is great. Maybe we'll sound better.
I doubt it.
And smarter.
Maybe we'll sound smarter.
Yeah, I doubt that. So AI can only do so much.
Right.
We're
going to break the AI.
Yes, I know. What happened to it? PoddiMouths happened.
Sorry, my bad.
Well, I talked to somebody else though who has the same opinion we do. The reason we're polite to AI bots is because when they take over the world, they'll remember the friendly ones. We had the same. He said the same thing. I'm going, yes, Nick and I are of the same ilk. Be nice. Thank you for that. That was nice. Awesome. Yeah, it's so silly. Yeah,
it is. But I don't know.
I feel better about myself.
I do too. I 100% do. I like to be nice to everyone and everything as long as I can.
Yes.
I don't ever want to be accused of kicking puppies. I had a guy once that said that. Yep. Oh, I guess the outro's playing. Bye, guys.
Bye. See ya. Buy some stuff.